We're from Fancy Tiger Crafts.
And we're going to show you how to get your craft on.
I'm going to show you a few common mistakes that you might make as a beginner knitter. First, you always want to start with your yarn coming down off the first loop on the needle. Don't start with it like this, always down. You always want to make sure that you're inserting your needle into the front loop of the first stitch that's on your left needle. You don't want to stick your needle into the back of the loop. That would create a twisted stitch, so always into the front. You always want to make sure that you just have one loop for every stitch that you're making. If you accidentally catch the yarn over your working needle before you create your next stitch, you're going to have an extra loop in there. That's called a yarn over. You want to avoid that. I'm also going to show you how to unknit if you need to go back and fix a mistake. You usually are going to be knitting from your working needle, taking the stitches off your left-hand needle. You're going to do this in the reverse order to unknit the last stitch that you just made. So now I'm going to take my left-hand needle. I'm going to open up this working yarn so I can see this hole right here, and I'm going to stick the tip of my left needle into that hole. And then I'm going to pull this working yarn back out. I just undid one stitch. So again, I'm going to pull this so that I can really see that hole there and stick the needle in the hole. Pull the working needle out, and I just unknit that stitch. Now I'm going to keep knitting in the regular fashion to get through this row. You can also count the stitches at the end of every row and just make sure that you haven't added or lost any stitches as you knit. Oops, let me count. So I still have 12 stitches here. As a beginner knitter, I would recommend not stopping your knitting until you're at the end of your row. But sometimes you have so many stitches on a needle that you can't help but stop in the middle of a row. When you pick the work up, it's easy to get confused and hold the work the wrong direction. If I start knitting here this way after flipping the work, it's not going to be correct. So when you pick up your work, this working yarn always needs to be coming off of the right hand needle. So I just flipped it back. The yarn that's attached to the ball is coming from the right hand needle. That is how I know that I'm now holding it correctly to finish working the row that I had just started.